Hi everyone, good morning, and welcome to my business, Mental Nutrition. Well, what exactly is mental nutrition? Mental Nutrition is a B2C platform designed for young adults to help gain access to mentorship courses to help manage their mental health. Well, why was I inspired? Since the pandemic has begun, mental health has been an increasing issue for my peers as well as me. What are some problems that my business tackles? Why do we need this business? Well, firstly, because of the shift to online work, there is a decline in young adult mental health. Alongside that, many young people don't have a trusted adult or can't afford mentorship courses due to their cost. Here are some statistics to back up my previous problems. For example, let me draw your attention to the fact that 20 out of 46 million kids in the US don't have a trusted adult outside of their family. This could pose a threat in situations like a school. That's where we come in. We have a whole host of features that enable mentees to make the most of their experience, such as customized and curated courses and open forums for both mentors and mentees. While the platform is open to all, my target market is teenagers and young adults. And since my platform is online, it would be open to an international market. My market size currently is 500 million, but it is expected to grow to 1 billion by 2026. So let's take a look at some of my competitors. What differentiates me? What do I bring to the table? Well, I bring together all of the incredible aspects that these companies do, make it online, and therefore making it more accessible. That also goes into my value proposition. For example, we create a relatable peer community by bringing together both mentors and mentees. For example, the Halogen Foundation was first to introduce in-person forums, which is a feature on my platform. But the Halogen registration fee is almost 200 euros, way out of the price that I'm planning to host my courses for. We also create a relatable peer community by allowing mentees to connect with each other on our platform. We also curate customized discussion. This means that when a mentee logs on, they can select a course and select what discussion topics they want to talk about in order to make the most out of their dollar. We also create a connection between users by creating open forums online where mentors and mentees can discuss. Now, this is a business, meaning that I'm going to make money. This is my revenue model. I have three main streams of revenue. Number one, the subscription for hosting group sessions. While we offer courses, we also allow people to book a subscription package and host group sessions for mentorship courses. We also take our cut of webinar ticket sales, and that's a 20% cut, and we require moderators or mentors to go through a certification program that will cost them. Thank you for your time. Take any questions.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Elliana. I would like to kick this one off, sorry, judges, with a question from the audience. We have a question asking, how are you going to remove the taboo of the idea of mental illness, and how do you remove that taboo and encourage people to actually seek help?
So I think one of the main ways that I'm going to do that is I'm not posing it as therapy, because I think there's this huge stigma, especially around people my age, that, you know, if you go to therapy, there's something wrong with you. You've got some sort of illness. There's something wrong with you. You can't tolerate it. And I often see people saying, you know, why do they have such a mental illness? Come on, it's just school. You're only 13. And so by not posing it as therapy and posing it more as an opportunity, I think that's going to attract more users.
Wonderful. Thank you. Judges, I'll open it up to you now. Prantik?
Yeah, thanks, Elliana. My question is, in a marketplace of mentors and mentees, like, what's your view on solving the chicken and egg problem? Are you going to kind of recruit mentors to begin with, followed by mentees, or the other way around?
So it's going to be that we're recruiting mentors and putting them on our online platform, and then allowing mentees to book courses with them. We are more recruiting mentors. We're not really recruiting customers. They will come to us.
Okay, and is this, I'm not really sure, but is this industry regulated? So how do you know whether I'm a certified, qualified mentor versus someone else? How do you make that decision?
So the way that I thought about that. So we can't just let anyone come in and be a mentor. So there's a 3-step process that allows someone to sign up and become a mentor. The first part is analysis. I'll create a certification board where I have a board of people who will analyze each person, look at their resume, what past experience do they have with this, what stories do they have to share that make them a viable mentor. Secondly, the development of coursework. there will be people, part of my company, who will then help the applicant to create coursework based off of what they have to share. And then finally, they will go through a small testing process where they will basically teach their program to fake mentors, which finally allows us to assess whether they are a viable mentor. And then they will be put in on our website, which allows people to book their courses.
Thank you.
Elliana, have you considered the safeguarding aspect?
Yes, I have. So my screen's not sharing it again, but on my feature slide, I was talking about how one of the biggest things I want to create is privacy while creating connection. So because the courses would happen over video conferencing, I have lots of features that allow mentees to become impersonal. They don't need to show their face. They can put icons. There's voice filtrations, and there's a whole other host of features that allow mentees to still connect with their mentor, but they don't necessarily have to show their face. This is helpful because some younger people, their parents aren't comfortable with them, meeting a random person online and showing their face.
Judges, if you don't mind, we're going to take one more question, but we'll do that as we open up the poll as well to our audience. So judges, if you have one more question.
Hi, Elliana. I think you hit on there is obviously a big problem at the moment caused by the pandemic, et cetera. How are you going to sustain your business model as the pandemic starts to recede? Because people are going to go through a feeling that, whoa, everything's all right. There's not a problem. Everything's been solved. When it really hasn't been solved, we're still going to have these problems. But how are you going to, because your growth model is talking about a billion people by 2026. How are you going to make sure that happens when people don't have the day-to-day impact of a pandemic?
So I think that my business model right now is structured around mental illness, and not just the mental illnesses that can come because of the pandemic. Mental illness will always be an issue. I think that it's become more available, and people have been talking about it more because of the pandemic. But I think that, because people have become more vulnerable now through the pandemic, it's not a skill that you're going to lose. And I think that, like you were talking about how you think everyone's going to think that everything is better, and it's not. I don't know if the same thing has happened in the UK, but we just actually had back in Singapore, we went through our circuit breaker and we thought everything was opening up and we thought we were going to be able to travel. And we just went into a 2-week lockdown again. We went back to online learning, and it created that, you were so close to something, and then all of a sudden everything was kind of just taken back away. And I think that, like you're saying, the pandemic's a long track before it gets better. So is the track of mental illness. So I don't think my business is going to diminish after the pandemic eases. If that answers your question.
Thank you. All right.